Hello YouTube, my name is Evan, and today we're going to be talking about how to tell if a subwoofer is good or bad. This test will definitely require you to actually take the subwoofer out of the box. So go ahead and do that, and then when you do that, come back. And if you already have it out and you're ready, well, let's go. So first things first, when buying a subwoofer is you're going to want to go ahead and get a digital multimeter. You're going to want to have it on ohms. And then you're going to want to have it set to 200. Now when checking these, you do want to have it up like this. However, in order to plug it in, since I'm only one-handed right now, it doesn't matter how you plug it in, just as long as it's plugged in. So it's not like a positive negative thing, it's just testing resistance in the speaker, the connectivity, and how much connectivity there is and how much it can support. Now, see, if I have it upside down, then it's not going to read 4 ohms exactly. So how do we fix that? Well, if you flip it upside down, there you go. Oh, wait, hold up. It might take a little time. Anyway, it should be a little bit below 4 ohms or at 4 ohms exactly. Should not be above it. As you can see, it's above, but that wasn't happening earlier. Let me just do that. Anyway, so one of the few things is that, yes, it has resistance. That's a good sign. However, here's the bad part. Just because it has resistance doesn't mean that's a working speaker. So one way to test this is to get both hands, or specifically both thumbs, and put them across from each other. A good bit across from each other. Like evenly. Like a 50-50 across kind of type of thing. And then you want to push down. Now, unfortunately, since I'm holding my phone, I can only use one hand. So I'm just going to aim for the dead center. And as you can hear it, now you might be wondering, what the heck is that noise? And, well, it's actually the voice coil. So this is the one that I accidentally burnt out. And so how we can look at the voice coil is we go closest to the magnet. And that's supposed to look like copper, but it really doesn't. Like, the adhesive that they used looks more like copper than the copper does now. Now, I wouldn't recommend to do this 100% of the time. But, and I can't really do it too good right now, is you get both hands and you just push up against it a little bit to further investigate the rest of them. But since this is burnt, I'll just do it one-handed. I would not recommend doing it one-handed if you don't own a speaker. But as you can see, there's a gap there. Like, hold up, like, try to adjust my finger right. There's a gap right there, right in front of my fingernail. And that gap indicates that the copper had broke because it had too much power going to it. As you can see, when I move it up, you can see some of it even burned off the layer on the copper to make it not oxidize. Copper turns a slight green when it oxidizes, so that means you definitely burnt the coil, or whoever you're buying it from definitely burned the coil as well. And when it unravels like that, that is not a good sign. As you can see, you can even see the metal behind it, which is not good at all. So that's one of the ways. But then there's subwoofers like this that I was dumb enough to believe, and you can just, you don't hear anything going on. You're thinking, oh wow, this must be a good sub. I don't need this. Wrong. Let me explain. Again, flip it upside down. Put it in here. Again, come on. Do the same thing here. As you can see, that means that either there's so much resistance that it can't show it or display it, or that most likely just means that it's open circuit, which means there's no connectivity, and it just basically be like you connected one side of something, but you didn't connect the other side. But just to prove my theory, as you can see, nothing even shows up. So when nothing shows up, it's obviously not a good sub. So with that being said, I got a sub that isn't good anymore, apparently. So I'm going to try to find the right voice coil. Unfortunately, they stopped making these, so it's going to be tough to find. So depending on, you know, how much you're going to need this and the third for a speaker, depends on if it's going to be good enough or worth the time, because if parts are discontinued and you can't get any parts, then it kind of just sucks. Now, one thing about this is you want to really check into the speakers, look at the specs of the speakers. That way you can know the resistance of a speaker and know if it's a good speaker, usually with this. However, you have to do some physical stuff and look at some other things just to make sure the speaker is actually going to work right. Now, the other way to also find out if you have a good speaker is the magnet. Magnet plays a big role, because without this, there's basically not going to be any sound either. One way to test this is to get something that's like anything that's not aluminum, basically, attach it on there and hold it upside down. Maybe give it a little shake, a little aggravation, right? But the keys stay on. It's good. Let's test it on this one. Do the same thing. Keys drop. Oh, magic. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. It's good. Now, obviously, it might not be the best idea to do that with every single sub, but I feel like that for a majority, that should be good. And I have seen YouTube videos where guys would get these, take them off, and then go to someone that can remagnetize these, which is possible. So just because it doesn't work doesn't mean that can't be recharged to be reused. So essentially, all it is magnet, voice coil in there, the spider, the cone. I forget what that part's called, but I just want to maybe like a cone cap. I'm not 100% sure. And then of course the outside seal. So if you do want to replace the coil, most likely 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have to find this right here, the seal. And on top of that, it's usually people just tear into them and not give a second thought nor care about, you know, the seals. However, unfortunately, with the seals for these speakers I have, you can't really find them anymore. So it's a bit tough. So yeah, just a fair warning, be careful buying subs that don't have parts accessible. As far as voice coils, anyone can make a voice coil. Okay? Nothing's too special about that, but you just have to know the steps and the procedures, and that's just about it. So yeah, I hope that this video did help, and in the meantime, have a good one.